So this is the fourth period video. We'll do 2, 5, 8, etc. And starting with number 2, there's a mistake. There should be an I on there. And I'll just tell you now, I made the same mistake on the test. Almost like I copy pasted, changed numbers, but didn't recognize the mistake on the review or on the test. So there's one pretty similar to that with the same mistake made. Okay, so the absolute value bars means distance from 0, means radius, means modulus, means all those different words that are kind of the same thing. So let's see. Over 6, down 6 square root of 3. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Or if you're really paying attention, you can recognize what's going on there. It's a 30, 60, 90 triangle. But I didn't recognize that first period till after the fact, so let's just do it the long way here. A squared plus B squared, 36 plus 36 times 3, which is 36 times 4. So R is 12. And again, if I was on top of my game, I would have recognized that this is a square root of 3, and 2a, so 2a is 12. So again, you don't have to do a squared plus b squared. You can do the special right triangles if you recognize them. Number 5. The graph indicates 4 points in the complex plane. Each complex number has polar coordinates r and theta. Which of the following completes the expression of the 4 points in the polar form 6 root 2 cis whatever angle? So I need to pick out which set of these answers will get me these 4 angles. So first one's pi over 4. So I can start looking and see which one starts at pi over 4, but they all start at pi over 4, so that doesn't really help. The next one's at 3 pi over 4, which is pi over 2 away. So like we're rotating pi over 2 each time. So it's got to be B. Start at pi over 4 and rotate pi over 2 each time. Number 8. Oh, that's a straightforward problem. Write that in reduced trig form. So that means r cis theta form. So 4 root 3, comma negative 4. Okay, we just did this, so I'm not going to do a squared plus b squared equals c squared on this one. I recognize that a squared root of 3, and 2a. So r has to be 8. And theta is the shallow angle in the fourth quadrant. So that's 11 pi over 6. Again, if you want to go through it and say it's inverse tangent of y over x, that's fine. Eventually you'll get to pi over 6. So 8 cis 11 pi over 6. Okay with that? I used shortcuts on both r and theta for that one. Mainly because I had just done one similar. Number 11. 4 cis 3 pi over 2 times 4 cis 5 pi over 6 equals a plus bi. Okay, so I need to multiply them and then put them in standard form. So we haven't done a problem like this in a little bit, but 4 times 4 is 16. And what do I do with the angles? Add them, so 3 pi over 2 plus 5 pi over 6. So what is that? 9 sixths plus 5 sixths is 14 sixths, also known as 7 pi over 3. Oh, 7 pi over 3, that's more than 2 pi. If you know where it is, then you could just use it. If you want to subtract 2 pi to get a more normal looking angle, a coterminal angle, 16 cis pi over 3. Cosine pi over 3 is 1/2. Sine pi over 3 is root 3 over 2. So 8 plus 8 root 3I. That's not any of my answer choices because it wants me to find A. So A is the number, the real part of the answer, not the imaginary part. So just the real part of the answer is 8. So kind of a weirdly worded question, but read it carefully and you can pick out what it's trying to do. A word of warning, there's a couple problems like that on the test. Not exactly like this, but that's something you haven't done before, but it explains what to do. So as long as you read the question carefully, you know how to do the math. Number 14. Okay. Raise that to the 8th and then put it in standard form. Standard form, that's A plus BI. So make sure you're reading on the test which form we want the answer in. I think there's only 2 that are free response that matter. And I think I either bolded or italicized the form so that you would be like, oh yeah, make sure you answer it the right way. I don't really want to do this like the algebra 1 way or even algebra 2 way would be like multiply that out 8 times, but there's a better way than that. Root 3 comma 1. So that would be a 2. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Or I'm really on to the 30, 60, 90 triangles right now. So 2 cis pi over 6. The 8th. So 2 to the 8th is 256. I know 2 to the 6th is 64. So 2 more would get me to 256. Multiply the angle, so 4 pi over 3. That's my answer in trig form. Yay, we like that because it's easier and we'd be done. But in standard form, let's see, cosine of 4 pi over 3 would be negative 1/2. Sine would be negative root 3 over 2. So negative 128 minus 128 root 3 I. I feel like there's probably going to be more careless mistakes than concept mistakes on the test. I feel like we hammered the concepts quite a few times. Number 17. Which of the following is a 4th root of 81 cis 2 pi over 3? So I want to raise that to the 1/4. The 4th root of 81 must be 3 because that's my only answer choices. 2/3 times the 4th would be 2/12, also known as pi over 6. That's not an answer choices because I know there are 4 other answers, or 3 other answers, excuse me. So that's one of them. And then they need to add 2 pi over 4, which is pi over 2, which is 3 pi over 6, so any of those things, to find my other answer choices. So if I add 3 pi over 6, I would get 4 pi over 6, which is 2 pi over 3. That's not an answer choice. If I add 3 pi over 6 to that, I'd get 7 pi over 6. And that is an answer choice. So kind of a weird problem, but an easy one to do with the with multiple choice. Rather than having you write them all out, you just write them out until you find the one you need. Number 20. Right now I'm just jumping to the end and seeing whether I like the problem or not. Standard form means I don't like the problem because I got to get it back to A plus BI. Determine the 4th roots of 1. Well, I definitely know 1 and negative 1 would work, but let's do this the formal way and see if we end up with 1 and negative 1. So let's see, 1's over there. So x to the 4th equals 1 cis 0. Or you could say 1 cis 2 pi. Either one would work. Raise it to the 1/4. So 1 cis 0. And then I need to add 2 pi over 4. So 1 cis pi over 2. 1 cis pi. And 1 cis 3 pi over 2. So that was kind of an easy one. Nice and equally spaced. So my answers are all on the axes. Okay, I wish that I could leave it in trig form because we'd be done. Let's see, cosine 0 is 1, sine of 0 is 0. So that first answer is 1. We knew that would be an answer. Cosine pi over 2 is 0, sine pi over 2 is 1. So I is an answer. And that makes sense. I to the 4th would give me 1. Cosine of pi is negative 1. Sine of pi is 0, so I get negative 1. At some point you probably realize what's going on here. You want to know tell me what the last answer is? Negative I. Actually, we could have picked those off just looking at the picture over here. So negative I. So if I raise any of those to the 4th power, I would get 1. And again, it wanted it in standard form as opposed to trig form. 23 and final. First thing I look at is trig form. Yay! So this one should go a little quicker. You don't have to change it back to standard form. So x cubed equals negative 1 plus I. But I need that in trig format. So that would be root 2 cis 3 pi over 4. Again, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, but man, if it's a 45, 45, 90, and if the angle falls right in the middle, then I don't have to go through all the steps. I can just pick them off by inspection. Right. So that would be. Oh, we did this one. This was like the same as number 8 on worksheet 4. 2 to the 1/2 to the 1/3 is 2 to the 1/6. And then 3 pi over 4 times 1/3. 3's would cancel. And I'd get pi over 4. And let's see, I'm doing 3 answers, so I need to add 2 pi over 3 each time, which would be 8 over 12 if we're getting a common denominator. So 2 to the 6th cis 3/12 and 8/12 is 11/12. And then 11/12 plus 8/12 is 19/12. And if I want to do the check, I would go 8 more. 8 plus 19 is 17. Uh-oh, that's not right then. What did I do wrong? 8 plus 19 is 26. What have I done? Have I done something wrong here? Because this is not coming out to be pi over 4. So that would be 3/12 plus 8/12 is 11/12. 8 plus 11 is 19. 19 plus 8 is 27. There we go. Which is 3/12 more, which is pi over 4. So yes, I'm good on that. All right, that ends the third for this period. If you want to see the other videos, find them in the same place you found this one.